Trans healthcare! When we want it! Now!
The main difficulty would be the model of care that we use. So in Ireland we base ourselves off a psychiatric model of care, despite the fact that the World Health Organization has declassified trans identities as mental health or behavioural disorders, yet we still use the psychiatric model. We're forcing trans people to get a psychiatric diagnosis before they can access healthcare. The waiting list for that psychiatric diagnosis can be up to 2 years long. Then from there, you see, the World Health Organization, since it's declassified, our health service has not commented on that. Most of the developed world uses the WPATH standards of care, which is the World Professional Association for Transgender Healthcare, which states that informed consent is essential in treating trans people. So that is what we need to adopt in this country. Give trans people their bodily autonomy, give them their bodily integrity. However, we're not doing it. The HSE and the Department of Health have continuously claimed that we do practice that model of care in Ireland. However, their own employed consultants have come out recently and said they don't follow that model of care, and they will not follow that model of care. So what we need to do here today is let Simon Harris hear us. He has promised to meet with us on a number of occasions. It's not come to fruition. So from here, that's what we're hoping. I know he hears us. We just want him to listen to us.
And do you think that there's an issue with funding as well for treatment and so on, and it's difficult for people to access treatment?
Well, funding shouldn't be an issue, because if you open up trans healthcare into the informed consent model, it would mean that GPs can provide that care. So it will actually take the strain off public expenditure, which will again in turn lower waiting lists. So by introducing the informed consent model, you're actually lowering public expenditure, reducing waiting lists and opening it up to GPs countrywide.
Okay. Jack, tell me, what has your experience been like in this movement so far?
So this movement's been going on for a long time. Trans healthcare has been really crap in Ireland for a really considerable period of time, but now we can see trans people kind of standing up and trying to fight for their rights. The first trans healthcare protest was a few months ago, and it really got things stirred. We can see like the community leaders were kind of going ahead and trying to talk to politicians, and now we can finally see that like the left have come in, everyone is here. This is a much bigger protest than the previous one was, and everyone's really standing up for the rights of trans people now. So it's really inspiring hope in me, as a trans person.
So, Linda, can you just tell me why you think this protest is so important today?
Yeah, I've been through this from a child myself, and 14 years ago when I set up Transgender Equality Network Ireland, and we've achieved in the Gender Recognition Bill, self-determination, what I've achieved in regards to healthcare and gender reassignment to the woman that I am today. I cannot believe now they've backtracked so much on healthcare and legal care. Children under 16 are absolutely nowhere. These people who are gender neutral or, they have no legal recognition, they've no healthcare. And this really hurts me because, at my age, most of my life, you could say I had a 50-odd year battle.
Why do you think it's important to demand better healthcare for trans people?
I think it's important because we need to make sure that it can be free for trans people, because at the end of the day, trans issues are class issues. We're more likely to be homeless, we're more likely to be unemployed. People can't afford healthcare, they're too far from healthcare at the moment. And this is life-saving treatment for a lot of people. This is the difference between life and death, and to make them feel comfortable in their own body. So that's why we're out here fighting, because it's ridiculous that there's one person in Dublin. If you're in Galway or if you can't afford to go to Dublin, it's completely gatekeeping all of the services that we need.
And what would you say to the government?
Make it free, make it accessible, GP-led, and just get it to people.
Join us, help us, write to your TDs, write to the Department of Health, write to the HSE. There's a lot that can be done in a letter. Ask for parliamentary questions to be raised. Join protests, join trans groups, stand with us, help us.